We have heard the S&P 500 and Nasdaq hitting new highs here and there, but it was only until recently that we have heard about the Dow. Finally, the Dow reaches the 40,000 mark, but why aren't investors more excited about it? Hi, I'm Jean, a researcher at Dxpert. Reaching the 40,000 mark by the Dow may grab attention as a catchy headline, but market analysts do not attribute much significance to this development. The Dow had a 23% gain from the low point of 32,417 it reached in late October, and it first touched 30,000 in November 2020. Fundamentally, this increase in the Dow can be attributed to several factors. In short, expectations of an interest rate cut, cooling inflation, as well as optimism around AI boost investor sentiment. Aside of these, strong performances from major companies in its index components. In particular, Walmart emerged as a top performer in the Dow, contributing significantly to its achievement of reaching the Dow's latest milestone as the stock surged 6% following the release of its recent earnings report. Moreover, Amazon that just joined the Dow, American Express that is up about 29%, and Goldman Sachs are also well-performing, lifting the index. Though there are some analysts who think that the rally still has strength to continue, there is still some criticism about the index. The Dow historically represents companies that are used to be considered great, while the S&P is predominantly composed of presently esteemed companies. During periods of transition, the two indices diverge as the S&P adjusts towards newer enterprises, whereas the Dow remains static in its composition. This can be seen evident in the index performance as you can see here. The Dow is currently 5 percentage points behind the S&P, which appears to be the aftermath of the pandemic. In the last 4.5 years, the Dow has risen by 41%, while the S&P soared by 68%, creating a 30% point gap last month. Such a substantial lag behind the S&P has only happened twice since the Great Depression, from 1976 to 1980, and during the 1999 to 2000 dot-com bubble. The problem of the Dow is that it's a price-weighted index, assigning disproportionate importance to certain stocks based solely on their share prices, unlike most other major indexes that utilizes market value. This often results in peculiar outcomes. While it is easier to understand because of representation, but it is skewed by individual stock prices, potentially overshadowing the broader market, and it is less reflective of companies' overall market capitalization. As a result, the Dow is gradually losing interest from investors, in particular young investors. For younger investors, Nasdaq is the proxy that they can think of. Google searches for Dow Jones have shown a steady decline since reaching a peak in June 2022, which coincided with the beginning of that year's significant market downturn, noted by Nicholas Colas, co-founder of DataTrack Research in a recent report. However, there is optimism on the horizon due to concurrent presence of a robust economy and technological advancements. While this doesn't imply an absence of risk entirely, it signals a return to economic normalcy. This favorable market sentiment is reflected in surveys such as the American Association of Individual Investors poll here, where over a third of respondents express a neutral stance towards stocks, with bullish sentiment decreasing but still predominantly positive. If you enjoyed this week's video, subscribe, like, and share it. Bye!